What's going on YouTube? It's Toxin here, and we're doing a new video on the Retrode. This is a USB cart reading device. Has been around on the market for over a decade, and it's constantly going in and out of stock. Now today, there's so many different options for you to be able to use your cart readers, get your games backed up and all that stuff. It's been around a really long time, so there's really no shortage of these devices, but this is an old one. I looked it up on stoneagegamer.com. It was out of stock like it always is. I submitted a email alert so that when it goes back in stock, I could find it, and well, maybe like 6 months later they finally sent me that notification and I bought it right away. So here it is. Gonna unbox it here. Like I said, they have the open source cart reader that costs a lot more money. Sometimes you have to have people build it for you. It's a little bit more complicated. This is a very simpler device, and the stock device only does Super Nintendo and Genesis, but there's tons of adapters that you can buy that allow you to back up different carts like Game Gear, Master System, let me see, your N64, even Virtual Boy. But I'm primarily using this for my SNES and Genesis carts because I have a lot of games that are, not just from my regular games, because those are not very hard ROMs to find, but I really want to back up the games like the Retrobit re-releases. As you can see, some on my shelf already. Got the Maju King of Demons and the Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Some of the games from Limited Run Games and Retrobit I really want to back up. So I'm just gonna unbox this here. It's a really cool device. It's no longer supported. I think their main website is already out of business. You can go to their website, but you can't download any of the firmware. But we'll test this out later and you'll see that most of the stuff works pretty fine with no issue. So not really going to need to do anything fancy with the firmware for what I'm personally using it for. Now you got to look at the menu very carefully, because in the menu it does tell you that there's a voltage switcher in here, and you have to set it to the right settings. Now by default it's already set to 3 volts, but it clearly states in the manual that for Genesis and SNES it should be set to the 5 volts. And I didn't know that when I initially hooked it up. I didn't check it and I plugged it into the wrong voltage. But it's fine because it backed up my games normally. It didn't do anything weird and the games ran totally normal. But again, I mean, it's safer to undervolt the cartridge than overvolt it, so that really wasn't an issue. But going forward, you really want to pay attention. The bottom one is the Genesis one and the top one is the SNES one. You got controller ports on the side, which I didn't really use because I have all these controllers on PC, but you can plug in a original controller on the device. 2 NES, 2 Super Nintendo, and 2 Genesis controllers. But I'm going to stick to my PC USB pad, so I'm not going to really do that in this video. Comes with a little mini USB, not micro, which is pretty old, so definitely don't want to lose this cable, since these are getting harder to find now that they're no longer really in use. But they're fine. They work pretty good for the project. So here it is, your standard mini USB. Nothing fancy here. Alright, I'm gonna unravel it, and then we'll start getting this thing hooked up in a minute, and then we'll demonstrate some of the games, some of the backups that we really want to test out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that right into the rear of the device, like so. No problem there. Alright, lift the cover. You want to grab a cartridge. We'll test this out with the Limited Run Games Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I'm really interested in getting these ROMs, man. The originals are floating all over the internet, but I really want my personal ROMs backed up, especially for the rare carts. Alright, so we got Zombies Ate My Neighbors plugged in. We're gonna hook it up, and right away it pops up as the Retrode F drive. The drive on your computer is gonna vary, but it's gonna give you a random letter. It's gonna pop up as a USB storage device, right? So in there you're gonna get a little notepad. You can ignore that. That thing that says no name, that's the ROM name. Now the reason it says no name is because, well, I guess Limited Run Games didn't name the ROM. So good job, Limited Run Games. Thanks for not naming the ROM. That makes a lot of sense. No name. We're gonna double check it, make sure it's the right format. It is a bin.bin format. I was just double checking because the no name threw me off. But let's go ahead and open up our little RetroArch here, and let's look for it. It's gonna be the I thought it was a G, but I just remembered it was the F drive. So we'll go into F drive. There it goes, no name.bin. We're gonna load up a core. and we're going to use Genesis GX Plus or Pico Drive. Either one is fine. And there you go. Look at that. Licensed by Limited Run Games. That is your official ROM, not the one that's floating on the internet from the Genesis card. That's the Retrobit version. Alright, so now we have the Mega Man Wily Wars. Now, if you know this game, it's a little bit of a messy history, but I wanted my original NTSC American copy ROM, not the 50 hertz PAL version that's floating around on the internet. And then also it came out on the Genesis Mini, but that was really hard to get that ROM off the Genesis Mini, so we have an official cartridge here. I want the North American Retrobit copy backed up on my computer from my personal collection. And now we got the latest one in the collection, the Majuu King of Demons. We're going to back up that ROM. This is going to be a SFC Super Famicom. We're going to drag and drop that over onto my hard drive. I also have the Battletoads Retrobit that I backed up off camera. We're going to pop that in and we're going to give it a go. Test this thing out. Alright, let's load up King of Demons here. Load content. Go into our F drive, and there goes King of Demons. It'll load up in the core in a second here. And there you go. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. It's a pretty cool little device. I highly recommend you buy this if you're looking to just do a simple little backup on your computer of your cartridges. Nothing too fancy. There's, it's not as fancy as the newer open source card reader devices, but it's a lot less expensive if you could find it. And again, this is primarily just to back up my my special edition cartridges, not so much for the other ROMs because, well, basically I already have those ROMs. So it's nothing too fancy there, but I'm really glad I got this thing. I can finally get those limited run games, Retrobit games backed up, get those English rare versions up on the internet. And do not ask me for the ROMs because I will not be giving them out. I will not be selling them or providing them. That is not what I do. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you like and subscribe and stick around for more content. See ya.